Oh, unable to find camera.
Where's camera?
It's finding.
Oh, okay.
I did it.
You found the camera?
Mhm.
I don't have antlers.
No, you don't.
Huh. But I've got different colored hair than last week, so I think
want
that's
some?
enough. No, I'm good. I'm
I
good.
got some. I've just been wearing these all day. And I'll probably wear them all day tomorrow too. And maybe the next day.
Okay.
The day after that.
Yeah.
And the day after that, I think that gets me to Friday.
Okay.
Oh no, today's not Monday. It's Tuesday. I think I did too many days.
That's okay. I had to do antler repair at home Sunday night. Apparently it was fancy hat day at school for my kiddos.
Oh.
And
Antler repair is important for that.
yeah. So, good old glue gun. Because the little plasticky part inside here is snapped.
Ouch. Good to fix them.
Yeah, so
Then they
both
stay on
antlers
head.
No, they could both. They would stay on your head. They were just floppy.
Floppy antlers.
Floppy antlers, not the answer. Welcome to Tuesday, December 20th.
Please stop saying the dates. Stressing.
I did a whole bunch of shopping this weekend. I'm less stressed.
I'm not done.
Nothing is wrapped. Nothing is wrapped.
Same.
That's okay. We are having like a super duper extra cold snap here in Calgary.
Too cold?
Too cold.
Too cold.
So just stay home and sew weather, if you ask me.
I agree.
But we both came to work today.
We did. We made it.
We did.
We made it through the blizzard. It wasn't really a blizzard. It was just the ice age.
It was just
coming.
cold. It was just cold. I used to work outside, so I have these like brief moments in the winter like this where I'm like, how did I survive? I don't know. I'm good at layers. Very good at layers. That's the key. We're gonna spend the better part of this week talking about rag quilts because they're warm and cozy.
Yeah, and we all need
Now it's
some.
cold, and they're a quick, easy thing to sew together. If you start out, we're gonna start ours.
I haven't used this thing yet. I'm excited.
Okay. Do you have it plugged in?
Yes, it's on. I have
fantastic.
power. I pushed the on button.
Okay.
I figured that button out.
So Chelsea and I have an Accuquilt Go, the Go Big Electric with us today. This is a die cutter. And what that means in the big scheme of things is magic. So this is one of the dies that comes with, that you can get for the Accuquilt Go. This happens to be the rag quilt die. And the way die cutters work is there's actually a tiny little blade embedded in the foam. So we're going to put fabric on top of here.
And we're going to put it through this machine.
Put it through the machine.
It's going to go chop chop.
Yeah. It's
Okay,
fantastic.
great.
So depending what type of fabric you're running, the Go Big Electric can usually cut like 4 to 6 layers. Maybe a little bit more.
That sounds like a lot more than I can cut by hand.
Yes.
For flannel,
and
especially.
with the rag quilt die, it's already snipped for rags.
That sounds way easier than rag quilting
So
with the cutter.
the first quilt I made for my son was a rag quilt. And I must have sat in front of the TV for like 800 hours.
Did it give you a carpal tunnel?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I had like little spring-loaded snips. Similar to these rag quilting snips.
They're very
Except
nice.
These are
snips.
way better rag quilting snips than what I had at the time.
Oh, really?
So if you don't have an Accuquilt and you're desperate to get started, you could start with rag quilting snips, but then you're gonna snip about every 1/4 inch all along all your seam lines.
This
So-
one snips like, yeah, every 1/4 inch roughly.
Yep. So today we're gonna cut some rag squares, and then Thursday, Friday we are going to show you a couple different ways of attaching everything together, so you can actually have an assembled rag quilt. When you're working with this,
Should we switch to top?
Sure. Peggy says this is her favorite die. I completely agree. It's fantastic. I think between my 2 kids, like I made a rag quilt for my son, and my daughter must have had 3 made for her
Oh my goodness.
as a baby. So they're lurking in my house. They're warm and cozy.
You could sew them all together and then they'll fit them as
Right?
large children.
As my
They're
big
taller.
kids. Right? Okay, so I've got 4 layers of fabric there.
Is it flannel or cotton?
This happens to be cotton,
Okay.
which is also lovely if you want a slightly lighter rag quilt. But you could do it with flannel as well. This particular fabric line is called Ice Ice Baby, and it comes in both.
Yes, it
So you
does.
could do a
It's so
mix.
stinking cute.
Yeah, you could do a mix.
You could
So
do flannel on one side and cottony on the other.
you could. And there's
Make it
like
a
no wrong
medium
side.
quilt.
There's no wrong side to a rag quilt. There's the
No.
fuzzy side and the not so fuzzy side.
Yeah, you could have the tickle side or the not tickle side touching you.
So from here, fabric is laid on the die, and then we have our little machine, and
Try put it in here.
yeah, we need to.
Scooch that over. Our little machine.
It folds up smaller.
It does fold up. Here, you can fold it up.
So for storage, it folds up to this size.
And it's lighter than my sewing machine, I would say, to pick up,
Probably.
which is nice.
And then dies are going to go on there, and you'll need a cutting mat on top.
That goes in that way? Doesn't go in like this?
Put it in at an angle. Not at an angle. That's fine. Put it in straight.
Okay, straight as.
And then the cutting mat is what goes over top of the die for those blades to actually press into. And then I believe on this one, our green go button is here.
Is that our green go button? Okay. Okay. We have to push this in further.
I think you need the cutting mat on top.
Put that in closer. This is fun.
Oh, I turned it off.
So that's the power button.
That's the power button.
Do we need to scooch it forward? What if we just push that in? And then we can just push this. Oh,
Magic putty noise. Grandy.
well, that was fun. I can't wait. Look at that. Oh my god, that's excellent.
Couple little snips. This cutting mat's quite
Oh, our
worn.
corner screen is gone.
Couple little spots that didn't quite cut through. Just because this is quite a worn cutting mat.
Yeah, but you can use both sides of this thing, right?
Yeah, so this is really the only wear and tear part of the system. And rag quilt dies will cut a long, long time. You just have to clean them out. So it's already ragged
I like it.
and ready for assembly. Should we do one more?
Yes, let's try it again. Now that we know how to use it better.
I've got more. Let's do another. Let's do 6 this time. No,
Oh,
let's do another.
6.
No, let's do 4.
Okay, 4. Different color.
That breaks up better into the bits that I have.
And we can shove this right through. That kind of worked nice having it at the end.
Yeah, there's smaller cutting mats too that would match up better with the size of the dies.
Yeah, but you can use the big ones, right?
Yeah. Catch on the other end.
This is fun. I like it. I get the best part. Whee!
And again, we need a couple little snips on that one that was right up against the rough cutting mat. But they're all ragged and
I
ready.
like this. This is great. We should show everyone how to sew these in together one day.
I think they're gonna have to come back on Thursday.
Oh, Thursday we're gonna sew them together?
I think we'll quilt a couple on Thursday and start sewing together on Thursday.
I like this.
But
I
we'll-
haven't made a rag quilt before.
What? Really?
Really? My mom made one, and watching her make one made me not want to make one. But
Oh.
this would make me want to make one again.
Right?
I watched her do it like super old school, and I think it took her like 10 years to do
Was it a
it.
gift for you that she never finished?
No. I think she only went halfway too, so it's a quilt that covers her, not my dad. My dad just likes to be hung. Excellent.
There we go.
So with that, how many squares do we have? We have 12, right?
We have 12. So usually with rag quilting, you'll need at least 2 in each square that you do, so a front and a back. And then you can choose to do batting or not. And that's really a personal preference as to how heavy you want the project, like the quilt, to be at the end. I'm a sucker for a super heavy blanket, so I would add batting. And we actually have some pre-cut batting squares as well that fit. So Dawn cuts these at, I think they're 8 by 8. I have a ruler over here.
Perfect.
I'm cutting that anyway. Let me measure.
And I believe those are cut to fit the ones that Dawn cuts up because she makes her own rag kits.
Yeah, the batting is cut at 6.5.
This is also an excellent use for all that scrap batting you have after you square up your quilt.
Right? I always have weird batting scraps.
Yeah, I have way too much.
So
This would be excellent for that.
So if you're not ready to jump in and get an Accuquilt, but you really would like to make a rag quilt, we can cut rag quilt kits in store for you. And Dawn's got a price for that. And the basic bundle that she does is this big. Nice Ice Baby 1.5 meter
Cuts of each.
1.5 meter cuts of each. There's a kitting fee for her to cut it all.
Yes.
With our Accuquilt. But then it could go home and you just have to sew it together.
Yeah, and that'll make a 42 by 30 quilt, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's the number.
Yeah. Something like that. Kind of close.
I was reading the sign earlier today. Cam and I went on a voyage.
Okay. Do you want to swap over to
Yes.
close up and then we'll start marrying those into little piles? So I think there was pairs on each fabric.
Yes.
Oh, bless you.
Excuse me. We have little
We made
polar
it.
bears. We have some snowflakes. We have a pair of snowflakes. And oh, we have a pair of this guy too. And what else do we have? Oh, we do have a pair of everything, I think.
I'm pretty sure that's what I
Yeah,
that's what I escaped out of the kit room.
And we have a pair of trees. And we have a pair of bears. I have the other bear over here. Should we just leave them in their friends?
We should just leave them in their friends and then we'll start assembling on Thursday. But Chelsea, do you want to just grab the rag quilt that's behind you and we'll show?
Grab 2 different rag quilts. I pilfered from the top of the Accuquilt rack. I went hunting.
Okay, let's
I am now a
Flip.
rag quilt.
flip to the front. So on this rag quilt, this is roughly what it'll look like, but they're sewn together with a way wider seam allowance than what you'd normally sew a quilt together with.
I think it says 1 inch.
Yes, and that will put it just inside the little snipped lines. So this would have been cut with the same rag die. So 1 inch seam lines from that outer cut edge. And this particular quilt just has X's through it to hold the squares together before they're assembled. So it's a quilt as you go technique.
And then it has a little bit of a line, like a stay stitch around the edges.
Yeah.
To
So
keep it all together and
Yeah.
stop ragging.
Yeah, you need to stop the ragging at some point. And then all the seam allowances are on one side. It would be like the wrong side of your regular project. So you have the other side that looks pretty normal.
This is the side I'd put against my body. Because I get tickly. I feel like I would be so tickly with the other side.
Right? But yeah.
But it's a nice fidget quilt too.
Yeah, and then the more you wash them, the more these curl up and rag and get soft. So they're lots of fun. You could definitely do this with more layers if you were just doing cotton. Instead of flannel, you could do like 2 or 3 layers of cotton instead of 1. And the more layers of fabric you put in there, the fatter those rags will be along the edges.
Fun idea.
So plan for 2, front and back. But depending what kind of look and how heavy you want your project, either batting in the middle or another layer of flannel. Or another layer of fabric.
I found this one too.
There's another one.
Because we have it right there. I went on the
So
hunt
if
today.
you're bored with squares, there's also a circle rag quilt die.
Well, this would be a good way to practice like your applique, because these are actually just appliqued on, it looks like.
Yep, so they get folded back
You
over.
just top stitch them.
They get a square tucked in the middle and then circle
Ooh.
folded over. It's cool.
Kind of like a cathedral window.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
Cathedral window rag quilt. Oh, and this one has fun stitching on the back.
Oh, decorative stitching.
I
Nice.
like it.
It's adorable.
It's a great way to use your decorative stitching.
Yeah.
It also has Max's name on it.
Of course it does. Max's name lurks on fabric around here sometimes. So that's like the basis of what an Accuquilt does. There's like this electric one. There's also a hand crank one. And there's so many different dies available that you will never be short of a die to make a job easier. The nice thing here, if you want to mass cut out of your scraps, you know, we had a post out over the weekend about what do you do with your scraps. Accuquilt cutting your scraps into usable size pieces is lovely, because you just have to cover that black area on the die. And there's things like tumblers and half square triangles and all sorts of things.
There's 2.5-inch strips.
Yeah.
So if you want to make your own jelly roll,
Cut away.
yeah, and I think it's great for, you know, everyone, because like if you can't cut anymore too, this gets you back quilting.
Yeah, and if you have like struggle with a rotary cutter or you have carpal tunnel issues because you did cut an entire rag quilt with snips, trust me, it's not your preferred method. Pretty friendly to work with.
Yeah, that was easy, and we cut 12 squares in no time.
Well, we talked. And
Yeah.
did other things.
We talked and still cut them in no time.
Right?
We probably could have cut way more if we weren't chatting.
Right? Or if we had brought more fabric down.
I did bring more fabric.
But it doesn't match this project.
No, I brought fairy frost because I thought it was pretty.
We'll have to do something else with that. Maybe we'll make like a snowflake applique. One of these blocks.
We should.
That sounds like a plan.
That sounds great.
So, if you'd like to pick up a rag quilt kit that's already ragged, so you can just sew it together and gift it, I think you could probably sew together one of those by Friday. Have it ready to hand out by...
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Might not sleep that much, but it would be pretty quick to sew together.
Sleep?
Nobody
Who sleeps the week before Christmas if you're a crafter?
Nobody. You panic, so.
I sew before work, and I make hot chocolate bombs after work right now. That's my
That's your life.
my life right now. I'm hoping somebody else shovels the walks.
Yeah, it is just snowing out there.
It was snowing. Hopefully a big wind comes in, goes whoosh,
That'd be lovely.
cleans it all up for me.
Perfect. So, stay warm. And we look forward to seeing you guys. We'll be back Thursday
Yeah, we'll be back.
for a
Thursday.
continuation of rag quilting. Sammy's here tomorrow. So,
And we'll be at the store.
call us if you need anything.
Or email us.
Or shop online.
Or click like. Or comment.
And hit subscribe so you get notified when we have more videos go out. Because we have some other stuff in the works. Well, we have you here.
I brought another thing.
Yeah.
Did you see my thing I put on the counter?
The thing I needed to remember to talk about?
Yeah, I know. That was my subtle hint.
Thanks.
I got you.
Okay. If you are not sure what we're talking about because you've never made a quilt before.
Quilting first class.
We are running a beginner quilting class starting January 13th, running Friday mornings for 4 weeks. Class is $99 and you will learn to make a basic 9-patch, put borders on, square up blocks, quilt your quilt, put binding on, and have a finished quilt in 4 weeks. Class is being recorded and you're welcome to join us in store if you're more of a leave the house and learn in person.
Yeah.
If you're more of a I like to stay at home in my PJs to learn things, you'll be able to join us virtually as well.
Well, and this would be a great grift. Great grift. For newbies. People who are wanting to pick up sewing.
Yeah, if you know somebody that wants to learn, get them a quilting class.
Yeah.
So you can sign up in store or online for Quilting First Class.
We'll help them push go.
We will.
That's my pun for the day. I'm done.
Perfect. So this is posted out there. Samples are up on the wall. And it'll
Not
be fun
the
to have.
sample.
The sample will go up on the wall.
It will be up on the wall. Hopefully on
Just
Monday.
didn't get there today.
I'm not here Monday.
No, the store is open next week.
It is. It is.
Saturday we're closed early for Christmas Eve.
Mm-hmm.
Closed early again on the 31st at 2 both days. So plan your thread shopping accordingly so you have enough thread to get through the holidays.
And your fabric.
And your stabilizer.
And your batting.
Don't leave yourself without enough supplies.
Or advice.
Or it would be a very stressful holiday without enough thread.
Oh no, I think I would have to start unthreading my clothing. I'm kidding. That wouldn't be good to run through my sewing machine.
No.
I would just use a different color that I didn't like as much.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for joining us today.
Yes, thank you. That was fun. I learned something new.
Yeah.
It was easy.
If you want to come give our little Accuquilt electric a test drive, we have it out front behind the till.
It'll be fun.
We could get one packed up for under your tree. If you want.
Yeah, we have Accuquilts in stock. Yes. And lots of dyes.
Yes. It's fabulous.
There's one I want to try.
Have a great evening.